No, that's not what we want, folks. Here we are. All right. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever it is that you find yourself. Welcome to the storytelling journey. This is your stage, our stage. This is where we spotlight our guests, and we have a wonderful guest this afternoon. Welcome once again, everyone. This is going to be a powerful episode where we shine the spotlight on leaders who are redefining what's possible by stepping boldly into their next chapter. Today's guest is someone whose work has shaped the way thousands of professionals show up, stand out, and own their brilliance. Vivica von Rosen is a best-selling author, global speaker, co-founder of a leading LinkedIn training and tech company. More on that. I'll let her share her story and her narrative with us throughout the hour. But I am super excited. We also have a special treat today. The storytelling journey has normally been dedicated as an audio event as of recent, but we are joining on camera in just a moment. I want to take a second here, welcome everyone to our audience. Feel free to drop your questions and join the conversation. This becomes just a wonderful, immersive experience when you become part of the conversation. I am your host, Americo, and I am a live stream and on-demand event specialist. This is my jam. I want to help you be seen, be heard, and be remembered. And we do this in class. We bring the world-class guests onto our show just to demonstrate how easy it is to stop the overwhelming and the overthinking of going live. Bring your message in real time and converse with your community. And that's exactly what we're going to do this afternoon. My co-host, Jay Pasqua, author of the Rules of Engagement in Storytelling. Jay, how you doing?
Doing pretty good, Americo. It's I don't think I'm used to the Canadian weather though here.
Well, don't kid yourself. The U.S. has weather similar to ours. It's not ours exclusively,
True. But
but
since you're America adjacent, I was just kind of kidding on you. But yeah, it's been cold out here now. I work at a nature center, and so if you're outside doing nature things, yeah, it's kind of cold.
hey, I get it. Alabama isn't used to the weather or the deep freeze that we're experiencing. But sharing is caring. Don't hesitate to send some of the heat our way when things warm up again. All right.
Absolutely, right? Yeah.
We are streaming across LinkedIn, YouTube, and Substack. And of course, I say this provided that technology cooperates. We are streaming live across the three platforms. And, tech does do what tech does best. Sometimes it throws a wrench. And when our episodes don't stream live, they show up in replays and they show up in our repurposed content. Now, let's once again remind everyone, if you like what you hear, if you like today's conversation, don't forget to comment and share. And if you find something that resonates with you, give it a save and go back and listen to it later. All right, enough of the soapbox chatter. I'm going to get off my soapbox and we're going to bring Vivica on stage. And why don't we do that now? All right. Vivica, I know you're in the background. You can
I
hear me.
am. I'm waiting anxiously.
How you doing? There she is.
Go,
There she is.
hey.
All right. Let's bring Jay up as well. Jay, we haven't been on camera on the storytelling journey for quite some time. There he is.
I was waiting for us to show up on those little orange chairs. I was going to be super impressed with that.
Well, the orange chairs are exclusive for our audio only guests. You want to be on camera, and what better way than to just show up as you are without the avatar sitting on the chairs as we normally do.
I do have an orange chair, though, for those who are on video.
Hey, you know what? I'm going to bring myself into the scene here as well. It's Let's put you in the center here. And well, maybe not orange, a deep orange. Fantastic. Why don't we kick off and allow you to introduce yourself as we set the stage? And I'll jump into the chat and welcome everyone who's joining in as you speak. The floor is yours.
Sure. Hey everyone, I'm Vivica Von Rosen. I'm really excited to be. I feel I'm kind of verklempt because I actually listened to Jay and Americo's podcast on 360 Brew, the new LinkedIn algorithm. So I feel like I'm with some rock stars because they totally changed the way I did LinkedIn, and I've been teaching and training on LinkedIn from that one podcast. So thanks, guys. I think, yeah, no, thanks, guys. And which is ironic because for almost 20 years, I've been known as the LinkedIn expert. I did take a bit of a pivot away in 2017 and started a digital sales transformation and a tech company called Vengresso. And then I pivoted away from that because I like to pivot in 2023 to do what I'm doing now, which is essentially helping women 50 plus who are in their pivots find what they are passionate about, create legacy businesses from it, and do it in a way that's powerful using technology, because technology can either overwhelm us or it can lift us. It can really help with the heavy lift. So I'm grateful for all the tech in my world.
That is great. Jay, share a little bit about yourself. But before you do, I have a special request from our friend Meryl, who joins us from Paramus, New Jersey. And it's just as cold in Jersey as it is here. But for those of us who are joining across the globe, and if you take a look behind me, I got a little background that I set up. This is Your Stage Live, and we have a global presence. So if you're joining us and it's morning, then I'd like to send out the wake-up call. Let's do that. All right, good morning for those of you who are joining us. It is evening.
That's me.
If it's evening for you, we want to kind of just cool things down. We got the crickets chirping, sipping a tea, coffee, whatever it is that calms you down this time of the night. All right, Jay, over to you. Quick introduction, and we'll get the conversation started.
Hello, everybody. Jay Pasqua, the storytelling strategist. And I wrote the book, The Rules of Engagement in Storytelling. And that was launched in 2024. And surprisingly enough, and thankful enough to everybody out there, it is still in the top 100. So it is a bestseller. So I'm really grateful for everybody who picked it up. And really, it's going to change. There's going to be an evolution to this. And we're going to see it on a platform. It's going to become an app with AI embedded. So it's great. I want to hear exactly what Vivica has to say about that, about AI, about technology, and about communications, right, between human beings.
Yeah.
But so, you know, I always said, and we had a really lively discussion previously about how AI can be a tool. We don't necessarily have to depend upon it to write the things for us, but it can definitely be a tool for us. And I still believe that. So that's me. And back to you, Americo.
All right. So it is freezing here in Sugarland. So we got some Sugarland neighbors. There's a story that you had shared with me, and seeing how this is the storytelling journey before we kind of pivot, which is what we're going to talk about. Let's share the story. I believe it was you who shared the story about how mail gets routed through. Is it your community for Valentine's Day?
Oh, at Loveland. Yeah. That's
Loveland.
right. Because we're coming up. I'm like, is he talking to Jay or me?
Valentine?
Yeah. So I live in lovely Loveland, Colorado, where it's finally defrosting. It was feeling like Calgary for a while there. But yeah, we're finally defrosting. And because I live in Loveland, Colorado, one of the things that we do and people do from around the world, not just in the US, but around the world, is they will send mail to Loveland to get the big Loveland, Colorado stamp on it. And then it goes out to other, it goes out to your intended. So yes, I'm not quite sure how you do it, but I do know they do it. So yes, if you want a Loveland, Colorado stamp on your Valentine's Day card, which, oh my God, that's 2 weeks from now. Oh,
Okay.
also, I turn a big, well, I get older in 2 weeks too. So
So here's a prime example of the benefits of storytelling. You had shared that story and that
yeah,
part, your narrative with me. And here we have Kenneth who mentions Sugarland, and it sparked a memory of the story that you had shared with me.
that's right.
So, real live example of how well storytelling works and how people remember, which is one of the key and vital pieces of storytelling.
Love it.
All right. All right. Enough with the chatter. I'm sure people are here to hear you and all the great things that you're working on. So why don't we kick this off? And let me cue up some of the questions we have here. We're going to make this as conversational as possible. And what I love is that when my questions get parked to answer questions from members in the audience, that is the most rewarding and fulfilling.
I see my
Let's
friend Keith from Australia. Hey,
Yeah,
Keith.
Keith has joined us. Fantastic. Welcome, Keith. So reinvention after 50. Oh my goodness. For some of us who are there, we know exactly what you're going to be referring to. Those who see it on the horizon, it's coming, and we'd love
It's
we'd love,
inevitable.
we'd love to
It's better
to
than the
help you.
alternative.
But you have niched down and you help women in their 50s plus who feel that whisper of, you know what, there's more. Now, what do you see happening in this stage of life that makes this reinvention not only possible, but powerful?
Am I allowed to swear on this one? I can't remember.
Well, you might be able to swear once, and then if we get
I'll,
kicked out,
I'll tone it down. We just don't give a crap anymore. I think that's the biggest thing for women over 50. We're not so concerned what other people think. And for those of us who have been in a professional role for 5, 10, 15, 20, 30, 45, 50 years, we've had to conform depending on the industry and the business. We've had to conform to what the business culture expected of us. I call it my Teflon business suit. And, that gets super old after a while. Being invisible gets old. Having your ideas suddenly come out of somebody else's mouth and it's their idea, that gets old. And so at some point, we're like, you know what? The heck with this. I was going to use a different word. The heck with this. I'm going to go off and do my own thing. And I think it's not just for women, for sure, but we get to a point too where what we're doing is not meaningful. And when we realize we only have so many years left, we want to do something meaningful. We want to leave a legacy behind, not just a monument of our greatness, as the LinkedIn expert or whatever, but we really want to leave a legacy and start to help people and shift people's lives. And so it's really exciting that we can do that with the I really don't care what you think about me anymore vibe too.
that's resonating with Jay. He's giving you the salute, and Jay's all about building legacy and helping others build legacy. Jay,
Yeah.
what can you add to what Viveka just shared with us?
So there are two things that stood out to me. Well, one of the things obviously is the storytelling part of it. Um, Storytelling is integral to a lot of things that we do as human beings, right? We communicate with one another, and the best way we can communicate with others is through stories. And I'll give you one story, and then another one after that. But um, he, there is a gentleman. His name is Kobe Bryant, right? Black Mamba, and this guy was one of the phenoms of the NBA, right? Basketball, big guy, and tragically he died in in an accident. Now, his legacy on the court and off the court is renowned. But there was a recent interview. I say recent, but it took place years ago, but it was only revealed recently. And in this interview, they asked him, since you retired, what are you going to do next? And the response shocked me. You know what he said he wanted to do?
What?
He wanted to be a storyteller. Here's a guy that has so many stories
Yeah.
already told about him,
Yeah.
but now he wanted to change the narrative
Yeah.
and tell stories. So I believe he knew the power of storytelling as a result of the life that he led. But now he wanted to be the storyteller. And I'm just saddened the fact that we weren't able to hear and read those stories, but he has left us a legacy, talking about legacy.
Yeah.
The next part that I want to share is a recent interview on stage with Gary Vee. If you don't know who Gary Vee is, look him up. Gary Vaynerchuk started a online conglomerate. I would say basically he was the very first guy to do online marketing and own it. Right? He still does a bunch of great stuff today online. But he said one thing about, and this, he was looking at the crowd when he said this. He said, I don't care what you think of me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care what other people think of me. And I don't care what even my close friends think of me. Specifically when it comes to losing. I don't care. And he said, I just don't have the capacity for it.
Yeah.
And we all have to start adopting that. We have to adopt I don't have the capacity for whatever you think of me, whether it's if I lost or if I won something. I should not care. Because, and to use an urban phrase, ain't nobody got time for that. Right? So anyway.
But there's the saying, it's easier said than done, right? I always tell people, like, stop letting the ideas of others rent space in your head. Focus
Amen.
on, right?
Yeah.
Focus on what is important to you. Focus on driving value. And, you're going to attract your tribe. And there's no better way to shut down, whether it's a heckler, someone who's judging or getting in your head, just kill them with silence, right?
Yeah.
Their dopamine hits come from our misery. Don't let it happen.
That's right.
Right?
That's right. It's funny, as you were saying, and I see Leslie's got the "We Don't Care Anymore." It just reminds me of Melanie. Melanie Sanders. I think it's Melanie Sanders. The "We Don't Care" Club. I don't know if I know the women who are listening to us know what I'm talking about, but Melanie Sanders is amazing, African American woman, and she's like, I just don't care anymore. She's got the list of what we don't care about anymore, and there's a reason that message took off when it did, how it did, and she is all over the place now, and more power to you, girlfriend. Yeah, we just don't care anymore.
Like water off a duck's back is, right? So this brings up a great transition. We talk about Kobe and his identity shift. He went from a big brand athlete that people idolized, and he wanted to shift into a storyteller. Now, let's bring this back to Vivica. You talk about women needing a personal brand that reflects who they are now.
Yeah.
Now, the corporate identity that we've all outgrown, but you're working with women who have outgrown their identities. What does that transformation typically involve, emotionally and strategically?
Yeah, so much, and there was this. I know when I shifted out of LinkedIn into Vengresso, and then out of Vengresso into what I'm doing now. And at first, there was just this great freedom. Like I said, it was like pulling off the Teflon business suit, and I could breathe again. And so at first, there was this huge feeling of relief. Um, but it was interesting. I was talking to a friend about this just today, and then the morning, because you really are sunsetting, throwing away, burying, releasing, whatever you want to call it, a part of yourself, right? It might have been a false identity, but it was still an identity, and it was part of your identity for the longest time. And it's not just all the bennies that came with the identity. I mean, I got to talk all over the world. I got book deals. I got, I always had the coolest table at the conferences. I got to meet amazing people and hang out with them, like Gary Vee. So I got all this cool stuff as the LinkedIn expert, and I mourn that sometimes. I miss that sometimes, and that's okay. So part of it's relief, part of it is a mourning, but then there's a reclamation that really makes it all worth it. And for when I first started doing this work, I used kind of an alchemical model, and the first part is Negretto, and it's just burning away. You got to burn away what no longer serves you. And then from those ashes, you find what you truly are, who you truly are, and what your gifts truly are that you want to serve up to the world.
That's awesome. Yeah, just burn it to the ground and rebuild it sometimes is just
Yeah.
what people need to hear. It's okay to let go.
Yeah.
Listen, transitioning from corporate myself and many thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, who have been impacted by recent job cuts
Yeah.
and this whole reinvention of organizations who are becoming leaner,
Hmm.
more high tech. Listen, they will take the time and you will serve their purpose until they have no use for you.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
you're left out. They kick you to the curb. Now
Hmm.
what? You got to
And now
reinvent
what?
yourself, and you're helping people reinvent themselves and letting them know that it's okay. It's yeah, it was great. Take what you learned,
Yeah.
and you know,
Take the air miles.
take the air miles, and now monetize your expertise. Build a new chapter. It's not the
Yeah.
end. It's your next chapter.
It's the next
Yeah, right.
chapter.
So,
Right.
and you're building tools, or you're
Mm.
providing tools. I I, I
Yeah.
want to call them tools that help people reinvent themselves. So you're the modern reinventor, and you're helping people on that journey. So kudos to you for doing that. You talk about women needing a personal brand that reflects who they are, not their corporate identity,
Mhm.
right? And we just asked this question.
Yes.
We just
Maybe I didn't answer it thoroughly enough.
I didn't like the answer. Give me another one.
Give me another one. Okay.
You blend LinkedIn strategy. Let's
Yeah.
bring the LinkedIn strategy. You've kind
Yeah.
of eased up on LinkedIn. You're still a big voice. AI tech. You're now known as a woman in tech. Great leader in that space. The mindset that you create through your coaching. Let's talk a little bit about the tools that you're putting together to help women transition from being purpose driven to helping them build their legacy and in businesses of their own.
Yeah, so I think one of the challenges, to marry the two questions together. One of the challenges is when you're in corporate, you've got a team, right? And so you've got your marketing team, your sales team, your customer success team, and then you go and start doing your own thing. And depending on what type of business you want to build, some women have saved up quite a nice chunk of change, and they move right back into corporate mode and hire teams to do lots of things for them, which I think is a mistake, actually. First of all, women are cyclical, so first you should probably take a little time off, take a season off even, before you jump in with everything new. But when you are starting over and you don't have teams working for you, the great thing about the technology we have out there now is, like, where I even 2 or 3 years ago would have had to have had a whole marketing stable of VAs, virtual assistants, who were willing to work for me at, 5, 10, 15, $20 an hour to do a lot of this posting and creating and website creation and blah blah blah, all the things. We have AI, and it is amazing to me how AI can really help with that heavy lift. I was again talking to someone just about this today, and I think Americo, you and I were talking about this yesterday. Um, when I thought about starting my new business, and it was 2023, when I started thinking about starting my new business, and I was just starting with AI, and I'd written this business plan knowing that AI could help me, write my website, write a book, create a journal, write blog posts, do all the things I needed to do to kind of prep and get ready for my launch. And I was working with a business coach at the time, and she's like, this is far too ambitious a business plan. You can't possibly do all of these things within, a year, much less the 6 months that you've allotted. And so I fired her. But also, it's like, yes, I can. And as bad as it was 2 years ago, like, this is the worst AI is going to get. I'm not the first person to say this, right? We've all, right now is the worst AI is ever going to be. It's only going to get easier and better and more powerful. And so we don't need whole teams behind us anymore. We've got AI to help. So we're so fortunate for those of us who are pivoting, as long as we're open to AI. I do have a couple of clients who are closed-minded to it, and I'm like, ooh. And then there are tools. There's tools like LinkedIn, although, I have issues with LinkedIn right now.
I think we all do.
Yeah, I think we all do. Yeah, especially if we're not 35-year-old males. And then the other thing is, Substack. I love Substack. Substack feels to me like social media did back in 2007. I mean, it feels honest and pure, and it feels like it can't be bought or manipulated or gamified by people with lots and lots of money. So probably it can, but it feels like it can't. And so those are just a few tools that women can use, men can use, everybody can use to very quickly elevate their new brand and their new voice, which is really their true brand and their true voice.
And Jay's doing that today in real time, and he'll be launching an AI powered experience that will go hand in hand with the book. Jay, I'm going to shut up here for a moment and let you talk a little bit about your project. Give us an update from last time we were on.
So everything is actually on the end of things. We're just kind of going back in and going into some of the details, the fine details of it. One of the things I learned was exactly the thing that Vivica just spoke about. We're able and capable now to think bigger and outside the boxes that we've all pushed ourselves into. Mm-hmm. We've done this to ourselves. Yeah. And now we're able to pull ourselves out of that as a result of this AI revolution. And I'm not afraid of it. Now, I'm now in the 50 plus range, and I'm really taking to it. I'm not shying away from it. I started out at a private school learning how to code without even knowing that I was doing that. A plus B plus C. I was like, why are letters and numbers going to get, this is crazy. But that was the start of things at a very young age. Anyway, moving forward to today, now coding is a matter of just speaking. Yeah. That's the language of coding today is English. And so and really that's other than money, that's the language of the world. A lot of people speak English all across the globe. Mm-hmm. So if anybody can speak English, guess what? You can code. So just that alone, that's the thing that I was like blown away by. Here's what we're doing. And we're going to be able to take it further. And this is what I did with the initial launch, I said, I think we're thinking too close-minded. And me and my team of me and the AI guy,
Yeah.
we looked at this and said, oh no, we can't just think about individuals and small businesses.
Mhm.
Why don't we offer an enterprise version of this? And I was like, what? Really? Yes. Uh-huh. We can do it. And so I'm glad you, let me say this. Oh, heck. I'm glad you fired your friend, your coach, because really there are real benefits to being able to do this on your own, but in tangent with
Mhm.
AI. You can create your teams. Literally, I was joking what I just said a few seconds ago, but seriously, you can create your own team member and use all of the coding
Yeah.
I was just talking about to help you run your operations. And while you're sleeping,
Yeah.
while you're sleeping. And so, yes, that's what I'm doing with the Rule Your Story platform, the application. The other part that I did was create the umbrella organization, which is Outrigger Ventures. And it's going to take that enterprise client through an ecosystem. Everybody loves ecosystems today.
Of my good old ecosystem.
Here I go. Here I go. So I'm doing an ecosystem. So I'm going to take you from storytelling into financials and
Mhm.
then to operations with
Yeah.
outsourcing. So we're going to take you through this ecosystem and get you, your enterprise, your business,
Yeah.
through all of it. But guess where it starts? Storytelling. And storytelling with the help of AI.
Yeah. Absolutely. I love it.
I'm
I
gonna
know, and
pause.
I'm like, ironically, so not techie, like the whole idea of coding, like forget about it. But to your point, now you just speak it. I am like a GPT creating machine. I see something like I could create a GPT with that. I can create an app with that. I can create and sometimes so I would listen to your podcast on 36 Brew on LinkedIn's new AI algorithm, and I built 3 GPTs from it. And it's freaking blowing me and my clients away at how it's so quickly and easily transforming profiles, content, engagement, company pages, and suddenly we're visible again. It's
Yeah,
it's
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 incredible.
like, yeah, it's blowing me away. But
Okay.
that's my first thought. Can I create a GPT for that?
All right, let's ask the more pressing question.
Yeah.
Has ecosystem replaced synergy of the 90s?
Let's dwell on that, shall we? Shall we dwell on that?
Fantastic. Let's also pause here for a second. Leslie shared in the comments, and I think it's a great comment. The law of sacrifice, giving up something of lesser value to make room for something of greater value.
Or as I like to say, nature abhors a vacuum. Create a vacuum, nature will fill it with something even better.
Absolutely. You know, and listen, if something didn't work, you tried, and you'll have
Mhm.
no regrets
Yeah.
thinking, man, I should have done it. I should have tried it.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you tried it and it works, great, you build on it. If it doesn't, then it becomes one of those things of lesser value, but you learned from it, which is the most important piece.
I feel like there's two magic times, our 20s and our 60s or 50s and 60s. Because in our 20s, we can make mistakes and recover, right? So we can make lots and lots, and I have, and I've dated them. You make lots and lots of mistakes, but then you recover. And then same thing in our 50s and 60s. We don't have as much opportunity to recover from them, but we just don't care anymore. So there's a lot of freedom on both sides of that spectrum.
Well, let's lean into that and talk a little bit about packaging that wisdom into a business. Right? See how things just happen naturally. Uh, unless I'm pulling up the same question twice, then
No, no, but
when it comes to women with decades of experience, or even just people in general with decades of experience, but no clear offer, how do you help them clearly, give them a direction and a package so that they can deliver their brilliance with class.
It starts with a conversation, and I know Jay knows this. I'll ask them about themselves, what they've done. We'll just have a conversation. And you can tell by people's voices and energy what motivates them, what doesn't. You can tell by their stories, the stories they want to talk about and the ones they want to skip over. And it's that energy that I tap into. I also do some woo-woo stuff with them. I've got a meditation that I take them through, and a lot of times our unconscious or subconscious, our higher self, whatever you want to call it, will inform us of what we really want. We just haven't allowed ourselves to even dream it. And so between just conversations, meditations, guided visualizations, it usually becomes pretty clear what the hidden gifts or not so hidden gifts are, and what they could possibly bring into the world. A lot of times my women, and I'm guilty of this too, will kind of get lazy and fall back on what we're good at. But that's not the passionate. You could tell, you're like, oh yeah, I'm good at that. I'm really good at LinkedIn. Yeah, I guess I could go out and teach people how to do LinkedIn. Yeah, I guess I could go and do corporate trainings. That would be awesome.
Blah, blah,
Right.
blah,
Blah, blah, blah. And that's kind of energy and the success rate I would have doing that, right? But when you talk to someone and you get their stories and you can follow that path of energy, the packaging her brilliance part is easy. I mean, for a lot of us, packaging what you're good at is that's the easy part. It's helping women get honest with themselves as to what that brilliance really is.
And this just in, folks. Jay loves the boo.
Yeah, I'm a Wu-Tang Clan fan. Just saying. So, oh yeah, I come from an island, right, where we have some legends and some folklore, and there's a lot of spirituality and ancestral communications and stories that go along with it. So I'm all for the woo, and it some people think, well, that's too ethereal. I don't want to deal with that kind of stuff. But there's really practical applications that can happen as a result of being grounded in the woo.
So
I'm not
true.
going to talk about that just yet, and maybe Viveka can talk about it more. But let me just explain something. Mindset. So I work at a nature center, and where I go, I have to go into a rural community. And when I'm going there, it's first of all, it's an hour ahead of Central Time. I'm going into Eastern Time, and I'm just going 45 minutes away from home. Do the math.
Go into the future.
Right. I'm into the future. But I'm also going east. And when you're going east at dawn, you're seeing sun right in your eyes as you're driving towards your location.
True enough.
And so in the morning, I was just getting annoyed and irritated because sometimes I'm speeding. That's not kid myself on it because I'm trying to get to work. But traffic and all that. But anyway, I'm annoyed because the sun's right in my eyes. And then guess what happens when I go home? I'm hitting the sun again into my and I'm like, oh my gosh. And then one morning I woke up and I just looked out my door and I saw the glimmer of the sun coming up on the horizon. And I said, shut up, Jay. That's the first thing that came to my mind was shut up, Jay. And the reason I said that was I get to see the sunrise and sunset.
Mm-hmm.
I get to see the sunrise and sunset. And I get to do that on my way to work. And I can leave the car radio on or off. I can make it a meditation moment. I can listen to my favorite podcast on replay with Americo and Jay, or, whatever. But the mindset, just that story, can show you what you can do to improve how you feel at the end of the day and at the
Hmm.
beginning of the day, right? You can look at it as an annoyance, or you can look at it like, I get to see the sunrise
Yeah.
and I get to see the sunset. And those are brilliant colors at both times of the day.
Yes. Yes.
Beautiful. Unless, there's a deer that jumps in your way
Right.
and the sun blinds you.
So you have to be very careful.
Hey, let's lean into visibility. Jay is looking into the sun. We want to look into the future and we want to help people, but we also want to keep people from burning out, which is very common. We're running at such a rapid pace. We're trying to please and we're trying to juggle multiple shifting priorities. What does sustainable visibility look like? And let's talk a little bit about that for someone who wants to protect their energy. And in this particular case, your niche, your the energy of women.
Yeah. Yeah. The interesting thing is, for most of us who were in corporate, we were, and I laugh at the 9 to 5, like who only worked 9 to 5, not me. But we were all of us, you guys too, right? We're put into this system of 8 to 6, 9 to 5, 7 to 7, whatever it was, Monday through Friday or Monday through Saturday. But it was like this linear system, and you're kind of like shoved into it for 10, 20, 30, 40 years on end. And it was based, the whole work day was based on like industrial daylight. I mean, there's no reason why we had to fit into that. And of course, that got broken up a little bit with COVID and working from home. A lot more people started working from home. And when we started working from home, we started working in our own cycles. We might have been getting up much earlier. I'm much better in the morning than I am at night. Sorry, guys. And so we might have been getting up earlier and doing our work in the morning and then taking our afternoons off or whatever. For women, and this is one thing we have to work on too, for women, it's like, get out of that feeling that you have to work Monday through Friday, first of all, and stop thinking you have to work 6 hours, 7 hours, 8 hours, 9 hours, 10 hours every day. We're women. We are made of cycles. We are made of circles and cycles. How we engage, how we fuel is cyclical. And so there are times when I have all the energy in the world and I'll work a 20-hour day, a 22-hour day, because I'm in it and the power's there and I'm downloading and I'm channeling and I'm just going. And there are times when I am like, I can't. When we just took a moment of honesty here. We just got back from a 7-week tour of Europe, and not business. I mean, I worked 22 hours total in 7 weeks, 22 hours total. It was awesome. I lost some momentum, but not nearly as much momentum as I thought I would have. Now, when I got back from that 7 weeks of essentially not working and seeing new places and seeing family and just being fueled in different ways, I got home and I got so sick and I was like, I cannot cancel on America again. So I'm a little snotty today, but I'm here. But I was so exhausted. Like, I just took 7 weeks off. I was so exhausted. I was in this mental fog. And I was like, oh my gosh, he's going to ask me questions. And at this moment in time, I can't answer them. I don't want it. And also what's happening in the world, right? So I was like depressed, exhausted, sick, depressed again. I mean, I was just, it was awful. It was horrible. And I was like, how am I going to do this podcast and be upbeat? and excited and enthusiastic when I'm just not even sure if we're going to even survive. Like, because I was exhausted and tapped out. I took 3 or 4 days. I did nothing except I probably finished 5 or 6 different series on Netflix, but I did nothing. And then I'm not even kidding. I listened to a podcast yesterday morning. I can't even remember what it was about. That's so funny. But I listened to a podcast yesterday morning, and it was like a spark that just went, and then suddenly there was light again, and suddenly there was energy. And then I started working yesterday, and I had a client call, and then I was back. And then I was back. A little Lauren Bacall, but
Hey,
essentially
let's
back.
let's pause. And Vivica found her woo again.
I found my woo. Got my woo back. But it's cyclical. That's all to say. That was a really long story. I don't tell short stories.
Hey, this
That's
is
all to
what we're
say
here
it's
for.
cyclical.
We're here to. We don't put a timeline on stories. It's all good. It's all good. Hey, let's. I'll extend and mention something that really makes my skin curl just a little bit. And can't remember, but between what Jay was saying and what you just said,
Yeah.
work-life balance, one of the worst corporate mindsets. Hey,
Yeah.
we're building a culture that allows work-life balance. There's no such thing.
There's no such. There's no
You're
pie chart of
balancing
balance.
work with your
Yeah.
life. That's what you're doing.
Yeah.
I was answering emails at 3 o'clock in the morning. It's like you got to be available, all hands on deck when that phone rings. When that you know, that's your balance. You're
Yeah.
balancing your work around your life,
Yeah.
and it becomes. I don't know. We just become. Is it brainwashed, or
Mhm.
we don't get phased by it, and we just fall into
Yeah.
that culture.
Yeah.
But for those of us who now find ourselves in our 50s, we're now shifting from that corporate lifestyle to the creator mindset, right? We want to build something different, better. We're moving on to our a new chapter, different chapter, and we want to build a new legacy for us to be
Yeah.
remembered by, or establish a new legacy, because we don't want to be remembered for what we've left behind. We appreciate what we've left behind, but we know that there's more in store for us, something that's bigger, better. So let's talk about that
Yeah.
shift, because the shift is really important. So what happens for women who've spent years prioritizing other people's agendas and representing big brands with big corporate Canada, America, wherever it was that you've spent your time,
Yeah.
and you finally own your own voice and you're on center stage, you own the narrative. Where to from there?
Yeah. I was so glad you brought that up about work-life balance. It's like the pie chart, right? I'm going to work 8 hours, play 8 hours, and sleep 8 hours. Like, oh, crap. When you make that shift, you're working from the creative, right? You're working from the essential. You're working from your highest intuition, which is in and by its nature the creator, the creative. For those who believe in a God, it's God moving through you, right? And so there's no work-life balance, 8 hours, 8 hours, 8 hours, because that is you all the time. It's going to express in different ways, and sometimes it's going to express with physical output, and sometimes it's going to express as a nap. But you start to move into that 100% of the time. I am a creative being expressing. Again, however that expression might look at any given, it could be chillaxing in front of Netflix. That could be your creative expression. But you go into that integrated, right? It's work life integration. It's not work life balance. And that can also be tiring, because when you're in constant creation mode, whatever that creation mode looks like, there's a feeling that we put on ourselves. I don't think it's real, but we put it on ourselves, like, I've got to produce, I got to produce, I got to produce, I got to create, I got to write another blog post, I got to create another series, I need to do another program. I have created so much crap in the past 2 years, and not crap. I have created so much stuff in the past 2 years. Create, 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 create. because I keep thinking create means produce, but it's not. Create just means be in that space of allowing that creative self, that divine self to move through you. And some of it's crap and some of it's really freaking cool.
But that's our stories in a nutshell,
Yeah.
isn't it, Jay? Jay, we talk about storytelling and we get fixated in wanting to share all the highlights, all the good. Let's share all the great memories. But it's those vulnerable and those less than stellar moments in our narrative that really, when we dig deep, resonate with people more so than our, podium moments that we're proud of.
Yeah.
It's about finding that balance, isn't it?
Yeah, just to jump in on that, this is not a Facebook post, right? And Facebook posts, people look at other people's posts and they're like, "Oh, they live such a wonderful life." No, that's not usually the case. That's why they call it a Facebook post, right? Because usually it's the glitz, the glamour, you know, the baubles and things. But sometimes, and it's one of the rules in the rules of engagement and storytelling. It's don't fear adversity. When you tell your story, right, when you share your story of vulnerability, people see the human in you and go, "Oh my gosh, that billionaire is just like me. Oh my gosh, Taylor Swift, that's for you, Meryl, is just like you."
The
So
stars,
really,
they're just like us.
right, right. In a way, they are, but they're human beings,
Yeah.
right? And I think when you're a storyteller, this is really something that I learned here on LinkedIn is when I shared my story, I didn't think I was going to connect with somebody from Botswana. But
Right.
guess what? Guess what? I did. I
Yes.
did. And that's the thing. We all know as human beings what it feels like to lose a loved one. We know what it feels like to love someone so much that when they leave your presence, you want to cry.
Yeah.
All of those things, right? Because that's a human experience. And
Yes.
we know those things. We may come from different religions, different parts of the world. We may not be even the same gender, right? So, but we all know what it feels like to be human and to have those feelings and emotions. So, storytelling in that regard can reach people on so many different levels
Yeah.
all across the globe. The one thing I wanted to go back to a little bit about the not caring so much, right? And I remembered an interview with Fran Drescher. You
Mhm.
know, oh
Love
my
her.
gosh, she's a comedian. She's funny. So the story the story is she's dating. She's dating and she's meeting other people, and some of them are younger men,
Mhm.
right?
Go
And
Fran.
so, yeah, right,
Wow.
right, right.
Oh,
So,
I need a
um,
sound effect for that.
oh yeah, and in a very intimate moment, her partner, or she called it a tryst, a, her tryst at the moment, asked her when did she stop smoking, and she looked at him, and she was befuddled, like, what are you talking about? I never smoked. I didn't quit smoking. What do you mean? And then she realized, oh, that's my hormone patch.
Yeah.
So sometimes you just, we're at that age, right? Who cares? Stop.
Oh
You know,
well.
we don't need to be thinking about all these things anymore. I remember as a kid, um, we went to we went to California. It was a vacation, right? And I'll say something about that. But we went on a vacation, and there was this place, and I think the place was called Save a Lot,
Mhm.
and and they had something about castanets. I don't know if you remember the commercial, but there was a place called Save a Lot,
Save a lot.
and there were all these dollar items, just really cheap items that you would buy at the store. And they had kids. And if I don't know if you use, but
Yeah.
my mom was like, you got to get a pair of these. And she did because it was cheap.
Yeah.
And I said, man, I'm not wearing that. I am not wearing that.
Yeah.
I am not going around school wearing kids from Save a Lot. No, right? And even being from a kid from Guam, I knew what it was to be in that era and to be,
Yeah.
in the cool crowd, right?
Yeah.
So I refused. And of course, mom got upset. But today, man, I will go to Walmart and buy me a pair and move on. I don't care. I don't care what you think of me. I got
Yeah.
some shoes on. I'm able to work out in the field and not get scraped up. Shoot, I'm good. And it was less than $30. So even better. But
It's
to talk
awesome.
about vacation, the one thing I wanted to say was sometimes you just need a vacation from your
From
from your vacation.
I had a vacation from my vacation, and on my vacation from my vacation, I got sick, so I needed another vacation. And I'm not even kidding.
That's awesome. All right. We are nearing the top of the hour. In fact, we're at the top of the hour, and I just want to give you a moment to inspire women that you work with who, and not only inspire, but empower women that you work with who feel intimidated, whether it's intimidated by the narrative, intimidated by the tech. Let's talk about the next chapter and how you're helping women today so that they can become what they aspire to be as they transition throughout this part of their journey.
Well, I think the most important thing to know is you're not alone. When we move into, when we were in corporate, we had teams, we had our colleagues, we had the sales kickoffs and the annual meetings and all the things. Even during COVID, we had our Zoom meetings, right? Oh my God, so many Zoom meetings. But when you start doing your own thing, and actually, I am talking to the women, but I find the men find this part harder because you've identified so much with who you were, and then you leave. And women, I think, find it easier to create communities for themselves. I think sometimes men find that harder. Yes, you can play golf. Yes, there's the gym, but then what? And so for women, I'm so lucky. Again, I was just talking about this to someone today. Like, I don't know what it is about Colorado. We have amazing communities of women. We've got something called the Dames, that my friend Megan Conter has. We've got extraordinary women from Cami Gildner, and that's just we've got. They're just Northern Colorado women's something or other. Like we're so fortunate. So number one, you're not alone. And there are so many communities out there. And if reach out to people you admire and say, what communities are you part of? Where do you find your support? Because you cannot do it alone. And a sisterhood and a brotherhood can make all the difference in the world. And of course, a sisterhood or a brotherhood is so full of resources for you. One of the reasons I created the Women's Technology Collaborative is I had about 20, 25 women who were just overwhelmed by technology. And I'm like, you're trying too hard. You don't have to do everything. Like, let's find the things that work for you. Let me curate that for you. Let me find the people who could come in and talk about that for you. And let's give you some very simple, strategies that can help you move the needle. For me, I mean, as much as the technological knowledge that I bring to my clients, most of them are just like, oh my God, thank you for listening to me today. Thank you for believing in me. Because one, I won't work with a woman I don't believe in. And there's been a few. I'm just like, yeah, we're not a fit. Go there. But the women I do work with, I believe in them when they can't believe in themselves. So having someone who believes in you is very, very powerful. And another thing is, and this is going to sound like a sales pitch, but it's not. You don't have to go to my retreat, but sometimes you do have to remove yourself from your environment. It's why I have Tech in the Tropics in Costa Rica. Like, we're going to take you out of your environment, your family environment, your community environment, your cultural environment. We are going to move you into another country, and for a week, we are going to focus on you. We're going to focus on you. We're going to focus on your business. We're going to eat delicious food. We may have a drink or two at sunset. There might be massages and horseback riding on the beach, but we are going to focus on you. You don't have to clean your room. You don't have to make a meal. You don't have to worry about what other people are feeling or thinking. We are going to focus on you. And sometimes we need to get out of that traditional situation and move into a new experience in order to see ourselves more clearly.
My inner female persona wants to go to Costa Rica.
My husband's also going to do a retreat at the end of the year, so you could go join his.
All right, that is awesome. You touched on something that I think is wonderful, and I think you would make a wonderful mentor. I started a community in school. It's called Your Stage, and what you just described is exactly what I'm trying to build: is to stop the overthinking and the overwhelm of creating live events. And I'd be honored for you to be part of that, because there are some wonderful women who want to step up on stage and are overwhelmed with tech and are overwhelmed with so many other thoughts and ideas that get in their way, and we want to help them manifest their dreams and give them purpose and help them build a stage of their own.
I'd be
And
happy to.
fantastic.
Yes.
And I know the question got asked. Jay, there's an audio version coming out of the rules of engagement in storytelling. When's that coming out?
So I'm probably going to be launching that book in April. So look for it. It's
Springtime.
everything. Yeah, it's everything that's in the book now. It's just you'll get to hear my wonderful voice. Ish, maybe. I don't.
Your voice or a AI voice? Not that it matters, right? Because it's
It'll be my voice, but I'm still trying to figure out whether or not I want the AI to do it in my voice. I've just been encouraged to do it the traditional way. Traditional way.
just read it out loud for someone.
Yeah, that's right.
That's awesome. So when's your retreat happening? That's
Yeah, it's March 15th to 21st, so it's just a little over a month away, 6 weeks away. Yeah. You should come
awesome.
join it. Well, not you, but the women who are on this call right now. I have four spots left. So yeah.
And how can people get a hold of you who have questions, want to work with you, or want to fill one of those 4 spots? How do they
Love
get a
it.
hold of you?
If you just Google me, probably my Viveka Vonrosen, my website will show up, and you can find the event under resources and events. You can find me on LinkedIn, Viveka. I think I still even show up under LinkedIn Expert when you Google that. But Viveka Von Rosen on LinkedIn. I've got a premium account. You can just DM me. I guess I'm on Facebook and Instagram too. Substack, you could definitely DM me on Substack. That would be most awesome. But I would love to talk to anyone who would be interested in that. I'd love to have a conversation, see if it's the right fit for you.
That is wonderful. Viveka, it has been an absolute pleasure. And just like that, the hour has come and gone.
Easy.
We had a wonderful conversation. Jay, as always, adding the storytelling spin and the storytelling vibe to each conversation, and being part of this journey along with me. I can't thank you enough. I know you came out of the cold temperatures of Alabama. How cold is cold in Alabama? Come on, let's
get realistic here.
Are you talking 60s, mid 60s?
No, so I think the low is going to be 17 on Sunday, and
Ooh,
that's unheard of for here.
that is quite the dip. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll be easy on you.
Thank you.
And they don't know how to handle the cold. I'm just saying, my family's from South Carolina, and when there is snow on the ground, there is panic in the streets.
Is there any truth to, think of warm places? Like it's like if you think of a warm place, it actually naturally warms up.
I just saw a hot flash, but I'm a 50-year-old woman, so
All right. Well, let's celebrate this fantastic conversation. I want to thank you, Vivica, for being part of the storytelling journey and part of my narrative and this entire story that we continue to play out. 2026 is going to be a wonderful year for all of us. I wish all the success for you and those women that you'll be working with in the year ahead. So, all right, let's get rid of the streamers. They're getting in my hair. Folks, it's been an absolute delight. Thank you so very much. I'm going to shut things down. And until next time, stay tuned. We have a fantastic lineup of guests for the month of February. I can't wait to share who's going to be joining us. But for now, it is goodbye, and until next time.
You got a story the world needs to hear.